After 60. How to fix a sexless marriage with your roommate wife before it too late. After 60, when a wife becomes a roommate wife, cold, distant, avoiding intimacy, the marriage doesn't fall apart because of a lack of intimacy. It begins to unravel because the connection between you starts to fade. Your wife didn't suddenly decide to stop loving you, but somewhere along the way, the intimacy faded, the touch disappeared, and now she feels more like someone sharing your house than the woman you married. Most men think trying harder will bring her back, being nicer, more patient, more available. But the harder you try, the further she drifts. Because she isn't reacting to your effort, she's reacting to your energy, and that energy is pushing her away without you even realizing it. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Vernon again. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 critical insights that will help you understand why your marriage has become sexless, and more importantly, how to fix it. Not by begging, not by pleading, not by trying to control her, but by reclaiming the part of yourself you've lost along the way. But before we dive in, if you'd like to receive more deep insights on love, dating, and marriage after 60, like this video and subscribe to my channel. This is where mature men rediscover confidence and connection in their lives. So let's start where every man must begin, with the part of yourself you've been avoiding. Insight has shown. Don't react from fear. Fear makes men act wrong. When you're afraid of losing her, you start doing things that push her even further away. You cling, you demand, you beg, you try to control. And nothing, absolutely nothing, makes a woman emotionally withdraw faster than a man who's shaking with fear of loss. Think about it. When was the last time she responded positively to your neediness? When did begging for affection ever make her want you more? It didn't. Because women don't respond to fear. They respond to strength. They respond to calm. They respond to masculine stability. When a woman pulls back into roommate mode, it's not because she hates you. It's because she no longer feels the masculine energy that once drew her to you. The energy that made her feel safe, protected, led. That energy has been replaced by something else, something desperate, something weak, something afraid. Let me tell you about my own marriage. My ex-wife and I, we were deeply in love once. But over the years, as I started to lose myself in work, in stress, in trying to keep everything together, I stopped being the man she married. I became reactive. I became needy. I didn't realize it at the time, but every time she pulled away, I chased harder. I tried to fix things by doing more, giving more, sacrificing more. The more I chased, the colder she became. Why? Because I was operating from fear. Fear of losing her. Fear of being alone. Fear of admitting that maybe, just maybe, I wasn't showing up as the man she needed. And women can smell fear, not consciously, but instinctively. When you approach your wife from a place of desperation, she doesn't see love. She sees weakness. And unfortunately, weakness doesn't inspire desire. It inspires pity, or worse, contempt. As the great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." In other words, when you operate from a place of lack and fear, you lose your power. When was the last time you acted out of fear in your marriage? When did you beg for attention, for affection, for intimacy, and how did it make things worse? Drop your story in the comments. I read every one. And your experience might help another man realize he's not alone. Once you see how fear shapes your behavior, you start realizing there's a different way to approach her. #2 Respond like a man, not a boy. Your wife doesn't hate you. She hates the weak, uncertain energy you're radiating, and you don't even realize you're doing it. You need to respond like a man, not like a frightened boy. What does that mean? It means you stop begging. You stop demanding. You stop trying to guilt her into giving you affection. Instead, you stand in your truth. calmly and clearly, and you say something like this: I want a relationship that has connection, tenderness, and intimacy. That's not a demand I'm placing on you, it's a value I hold for my own life. And if this marriage can't provide that, then we need to have an honest conversation about where we really are. Do you see the difference? You're not saying, you need to give me sex. You're saying, this is what I value. This is what I need to feel alive in a relationship, and I won't settle for less. This is what masculine leadership looks like. It's not aggressive, it's not controlling, it's grounded, it's self-respecting, and it's honest. Now here's what happens when you do this. She tests you. Women test boundaries. Not because they're manipulative, but because they need to know if you have a backbone. They need to know if you mean what you say. They need to know if you're a man who will stand firm in his values, or if you're just another man who will crumble the moment she pushes back. In the words of the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, he who has a why to live can bear almost any how. When you know your values, when you know what you stand for, you stop being at the mercy of someone else's approval. My friend named Sandra once told me about her husband. For years, he was passive. He never spoke up. He just accepted whatever dynamic she created in the marriage. And honestly, she lost respect for him. Not because she wanted to, but because there was nothing to respect. He had no voice, no boundaries, no self. But one day, something changed. He sat her down and said, I love you, but I can't live in a marriage where I feel invisible. I need connection. I need intimacy. And if you don't want that, then I need to know. She was shocked. At first, she got defensive. She threw up walls. But deep down, she felt something she hadn't felt in years. Respect. Because finally, he was being a man again. But once you hold your position, you'll notice a new challenge rising to the surface. #3. Know your standards. Do you even know what your non-negotiables are? Most men don't. They've spent so many years trying to keep the peace, trying to avoid conflict, trying to make their wife happy, that they've completely lost touch with what they actually need to feel alive in a relationship. So let's get clear. What do you actually value in a relationship? Intimacy, emotional connection, time together, affection, or mutual respect. These aren't demands. These are values, the things that make a relationship worth being in. When a man has no standards, his wife unconsciously takes control of the relationship's emotional dynamic. She decides when there's intimacy. She decides when there's affection. She decides when there's connection. And he just waits, hoping, pleading, resenting. But when a man gets clear on his values and communicates them calmly and confidently, something shifts. The woman doesn't feel pressured. She feels invited. She feels like she's with a man who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to stand in it. And that changes everything. Women naturally calibrate their emotional behavior around the man's internal compass. When your values are unclear, she feels uncertain. When your values are firm, she feels grounded. When you drift, she disconnects. When you lead, she softens. This isn't manipulation, it's psychology. A relationship needs direction, and if you don't provide it, the emotional climate becomes chaotic for both of you. As the great Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When you stop waiting for your wife to change and start living by your own values, you reclaim your power. You can share this video with another man who needs to hear it. It might be the wake-up call that changes his life. But even when you say all the right things, there's still one element more powerful than words. #4. Women feel your energy first. You can say, I'm fine. You can say, I'm confident. You can say, I don't need you. But if your body language, your tone, your presence says otherwise, she knows. And she responds to what she feels, not what you say. This is why some men can say all the right things and still get nowhere. Because their energy is off. Their energy is still needy, still desperate, still weak. So what does solid masculine energy actually look like? It shows up as calm steadiness, the kind that doesn't collapse just because she pulls away. It appears as genuine self-respect, a quiet confidence that doesn't chase or cling. It's a sense of purpose that comes from your own life, rather than her reactions. And it includes boundaries, the inner clarity to walk away from what no longer aligns with who you are. This is the energy she feels long before you ever speak. You don't need a dramatic story to understand this, you can see it everywhere. Look at the men who naturally attract respect from others. They move slower, they speak with intention, and they don't explain themselves unnecessarily. They aren't performing confidence, they are confident. Even in relationships, the men who remain steady during conflict, who don't crumble at silence, who don't panic when a woman pulls away, those are the men whose presence feels safe, grounded, and magnetic. When a man stops seeking validation, his whole world shifts. His posture changes. His tone changes. His decisions become clearer. He stops waiting for approval and starts living from a deeper place inside himself. And women feel that shift instantly. Because attraction isn't logical, it's energetic. Women are drawn to men who are grounded in themselves, who don't need validation, who are living with purpose and strength. And when you finally master presence, one more realization still waits for you. #5. Never settle for half a marriage. This is the insight most men avoid, because it's painful, because it's terrifying, because it forces you to confront the possibility that maybe, just maybe, this marriage can't be saved. Many men stay trapped in sexless, loveless marriages because they're more afraid of being alone than they are of being miserable. They accept a life without intimacy, without connection, without tenderness, because the alternative, leaving, starting over, facing the unknown, feels too overwhelming. If your wife no longer wants love, connection, or intimacy, why are you staying in a relationship you're not allowed to participate in? I'm not telling you to leave. I'm telling you to stop being afraid of the possibility, because that fear, that clinging, is what's keeping you stuck. It's what's making you tolerate a relationship that's slowly killing your spirit. There was a time when my brother, Thomas, spent more than a decade inside a marriage that had turned to ice. His wife withdrew completely, no touch, no tenderness, nothing that made the relationship feel alive. Yet Thomas stayed. Fear kept him there. Fear of solitude, fear of failure, fear of the whispers from others. But one day, he had a realization. He said to me, "Vernon, I've been so afraid of losing her that I forgot I'd already lost myself." And that's when he made the hardest decision of his life. He told his wife, calmly and clearly, "I love you, but I can't live like this anymore. I need a real marriage connection, intimacy, partnership, and if you can't give me that, then we need to make a different choice." You know what happened? She woke up, not because he threatened her, but because, for the first time in years, she saw him as a man again. A man with boundaries, a man with self-respect, a man who wasn't willing to live half a life. Now, I won't lie to you, not every story ends like Thomas's. Sometimes this truth saves the marriage, and sometimes it frees the man from a slow suffocation. But either way, it's better than staying trapped. As Søren Kierkegaard said, the most common form of despair is not being who you are. When you're living in a marriage that denies your deepest needs, you're not living at all. You're just surviving. If this video is hitting home, save it. Come back to it when you're feeling lost, when you're doubting yourself, when you need a reminder of your own worth. By now, you've seen 5 ways to break free from a marriage that has lost its intimacy. Marriage doesn't collapse in a single moment. It fades through silence, avoidance, and fear. But it only takes one person choosing clarity and calm strength for everything to begin shifting. The issue was never that your wife stopped loving you. The issue was that somewhere along the way, you stopped being the man she could love, not out of wrongdoing, but because fear and neediness pulled you away from your own strength. Love doesn't return because you sacrifice more. Desire doesn't grow because you beg. Respect isn't rebuilt through desperation. Respect comes from knowing your worth. Desire rises when you live with purpose. Love flows toward a man who doesn't plead for it. And when you reclaim that, when you stand firm, stop being afraid, and lead with steady, masculine energy, one of two things will happen. Either your wife will remember the man she chose, or you'll finally see that you deserve more than living like a ghost in your own home. Either way, you win. Because you're no longer trapped, you're a man, walking with dignity, strength, and self-respect again. As the great philosophers always reminded us, the truth heals, even when it hurts. So now, I want to hear from you. Share the moment you realized your marriage had become a roommate situation. What did it feel like? What did you do? Your story might be the lifeline another man needs to find his voice again. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to my channel to receive more wisdom on intimacy, self-respect, and love after 60. Visit the channel to explore more videos that help you rebuild your life and your relationship. And I'm Vernon. Thanks for watching till now, and see you in the next video.